Good evening. Namaskar.
Namaste, madam.
Welcome to today's session. Very interesting and very excited for me because this is the day one of Sai interviews we started, and this series is going to continue with experts in different fields and trying to relate with psychology. And day one, we are very happy to have Mr. Veerabhadra Rao, member of Manojagriti, senior psychologist, and old by age but young by heart. He's actually a bank officer, retired bank officer from SBI. But by passion and profession, now his second profession is psychology. And he's actually into premarital counseling, couple counseling, and adolescent counseling. Very happy to have you, sir. And it's a very typical combination, having a psychology and banking experience. So that's why we chose Veera sir to be the first person to have the interview.
Good evening,
Welcome,
ma'am.
sir.
Namaste. Good evening to everyone.
Welcome. So for the participants today, like this series of Sai interviews will be like, we'll focus on the experts' knowledge we'll take for 30 minutes, and then we'll open the question answer session. You can ask any question and we'll be answering. So now here we go with the first question. So Veera sir, being a
Yes, ma'am.
psychologist and a bank officer, having a very, decades of experience in banking, how do you look at, or what do you mean? How do you define psychology of money? What is your perception of psychology of money?
Yeah, like think about when you see your friend constantly stressed about money, even if he had enough money to cover their monthly expenses. That is where the psychology of money comes in. It's about understanding why we feel and what we do about money and how we see these things impact our financial decisions, whether it is saving for a big function or even trying to buy a latest mobile. Let me tell you, I'll always give you an example. I have a friend, Rajesh. He's always stressed about his money. He has a steady job. However, he always stressed about money. Every time we go out, he's calculating. We go to a restaurant, he looks at the menu, and then he's very calculative. ఇప్పుడు ఏం తిందాము? He'll not look at the left side of the menu. He'll be looking at the right side of the menu. దీని ధర ఎంత ఉంది, ఏది తక్కువకి వస్తుంది. He's always stressed. Just look at it. I was asking him again and again. When I go back and then try to look into his childhood, his parents were very conservative. చాలా పొదుపుగా ఉండేవారు. ఏదైనా ఖర్చు పెట్టాలనేసరికి 10 సార్లు ఆలోచించుకునేవారు. అండ్ అదే అలవాటు పిల్లవాడికి కూడా వచ్చేస్తుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ హౌ ద psychology of money works.
Right. You mean to say psychology of money అనగానే చాలా మంది డబ్బుని ఎలా చూస్తాము, డబ్బుని ఎలా ఖర్చు పెడతాము అని అనుకుంటారు. కానీ మీరు అన్నట్టు psychology of money meaning the way we think about money, the way we feel about money, the way we behave with the money, which becomes our entire mindset, and that actually makes our life.
Yes,
what is our life? Beautifully said. And one more, before asking questions, sir, actually, generally people look at good money managers like they should have financial literacy, they should know banking, they should be very good in calculations, all these things people think. People
Yeah.
think people should have this, skill set. But actually looking into money management or the success of people who are able to manage their money, that actually depends on their emotional stability and impulse control.
Obvious.
Yes, sir. So
Yes. Yes.
it's very good to understand that money is not calculation. Money is all about emotional balance.
Yeah.
So let's
We
ask the
we all
next
we are
question.
always carried away by the emotions and the feeling that is associated with that,
Yes, yes.
irrespective of how much knowledge you have about investment. But your brought up has a significant
Impact.
impact on your
Yes, sir.
money.
So here we have the second question for sir. Next question. So, sir, what is the role of self-esteem or that self-confidence in financial behavior or money management? Do you think there is a role? If yes, what is that role?
Yes, ma'am. Like, if you ever noticed how some people try to flaunt their designer clothes or latest gadgets. No, it could be because, that will boost their esteem.
Hmm.
And if you try to see people who are very affluent, they don't even give any significance to anything. మీకు మనం తెలుగులో సామెత చెప్పాలంటే అన్నీ ఉన్న ఆకు అణిగి మణిగి ఉంది, ఏమీ లేని ఆకు ఎగిరెగిరి పడింది.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So it is basically how your self-esteem is like. I have a cousin, Ananya. ఎప్పుడు she always spurges having heavy designer wear and then going for fancy dinners, everything. Like, there's a lot of show of life. I asked her, what makes you feel that way? Why do you do that way? He couldn't give any answer. He just kept wondering. అలా పైన చూస్తే అయిపోయింది. That void she's trying to fill with all this material stuff. తన లో సెల్ఫ్ ఎస్టీమ్ ఏదైతే ఉందో దాన్ని ఈ మెటీరియల్ స్టఫ్ తోటి తను ఫిల్ చేసుకుని దెన్ షీ వాస్ ఫీలింగ్ హ్యాపీ.
Right.
ఎస్టీమ్ మేక్స్ ఏ హ్యూజ్ డిఫరెన్స్.
సో మీరు చెప్పిన సామెత చాలా బాగుంది. అన్ని అన్ని ఉన్న ఇస్తారు అణిగి మణిగి ఉంటుంది, ఏమీ లేని ఇస్తారు ఎగిసి పడుతుంది. సో ఇట్ షోస్ దట్ ద సెల్ఫ్ ఎస్టీమ్ ఈస్ లో. దట్స్ వాట్ దే ఆర్ ట్రైంగ్ టు మేక్ అప్. Very beautifully said, sir. Very beautifully said. And I have my experience here because it's been 3 decades I'm into this field, where I look at earning as very easy. Paisa kamana is easy, but then see, saving money is little tough, and investing money is more tougher because we don't know where to do it, how to do it. And my son say that earning money or saving money is nothing. Investing money is the only way which helps.
Yes.
But here comes the fear, sir. Fear. See, what happens is generally we have that fear factor which comes in if we want to invest somewhere. If we want to buy something, ghar lena hai, or if we want to take some or invest in some, anything like that. So first thing before we take a decision, fear comes in.
Yeah.
So what do you say about this? What is the role of this fear in investment? Why people are not able to invest?
Fear can be a big factor, when it comes to investment. Maybe like, you are scared taking risk with your cash.
Yes.
You want to keep it in a safe place so that, you can use it immediately. Or maybe like, you are afraid of not having enough అమ్మో ఇది సరిపోదు అనుకుంటా. You want to invest in a real estate, you will feel నాకు ఇది సరిపోదు అనుకుంటా. So, it's always stressful when you're trying to save every rupee. Learning to manage these fears is the key for smart investments.
Okay, so you mean to say fear is natural, but you need to manage the fear so that you
Yeah.
invest.
Yeah, I have my aunt, Sona. She wants to invest in the stock market, where she can invest it properly and then generate proper income. But then that fear comes, oh God, what if I lose my money? So after taking a financial advisor's consultancy and then taking proper guidance from him, he started investing in the stock market. And now she is making good money.
Mm-hmm.
After having that knowledge, now she doesn't have that fear. Initially, she had lots of fear. Now she makes good money in the stock market.
Yeah, that fear stops actually. That fear stops. We know
Yeah.
we want to, but we take back step because we have that fear in mind.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is a saying, save for the rainy day. We have a small story of that ant also, where the ants will, put the food, keep the food, they save the food for a rainy day. So
Yeah.
when I remember that, I have this question. Saving is very good. Saving is a good behavior. Saving is expected for everybody because we never know what happens in life. And we need to save for the future needs. It can be a health need, it can be a crisis, it can be a good thing, marriage or education of children. But still, we know that we should save for the rainy day. But still, why people are not able to save? What are the psychological barriers which are stopping?
Yeah, like, when saving money, it sounds great. అందరికీ పొదుపు చేయాలని ఉంటుంది. But when it comes to practice, it is very difficult.
Yes, we don't know.
Yeah. Maybe like, you keep postponing it. Maybe I need some cash for a later date. So let me not invest it right now. Let me do it at a later date. Or, you're always worried. Oh God, if I put all these things in a fixed investment, what if I have an emergency? People are so much impacted by the last pandemic. People are trying to accumulate and then have good cash at home.
Yes, that
Cash.
insecurity.
Insecurity is there. So that is not allowing them to move ahead. So you need to break down these barriers, then have a practice and inculcate a little discipline of doing it in a month by month. As I told you earlier, I have my uncle Sanjay, who always says, next month chestara savings. Ee month oddu. When I ask him, this is the time you should start savings.
Yeah.
He'll say, not this month, next month. So I always suggest him, go to the bank and then give a standing instruction so that the amount gets deducted from your bank account and then goes to the respective investment scheme. So మీ ప్రమేయం లేకుండా ఆటోమేటిక్ గా అది అయిపోతుంది.
Right.
When it happens like that, automatically the savings habit gets inculcated. And once that habit is inculcated, you start it.
Yes, yes, sir. So recently I heard in a meeting, one of the webinar, that one expert was telling, you have a separate bank account for savings, which you put the money, but you don't touch it again. So that account is only meant for saving. So you have a separate account for saving. We don't have actually, we have an account, we put the money, we take the money. So it's like, this mindset is, if we have money in the bank account, if something comes up, we need to, take the money from that. So
The
that
typical,
impulse is coming.
the typical example for your savings account is like your toothpaste tube. It's easy to squeeze out, but difficult to put it back into the tube.
Beautiful analogy. Toothpaste, which can come out, but which doesn't go inside. Saving bank, you take money, but you don't actually put the money. Beautifully said, sir. It's really beautiful. So, there is a word in Japanese which says kaizen. Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N, is continuous changes every time, but it should be good changes which are consistent changes. So that is what Veera sir was trying to tell. You make it as a habit of, saving money. It's not one day affair. సో ఈ రోజు మనం సేవ్ చేసినాము ఇంకా మళ్ళీ 1-2 years వరకు సేవింగ్ మర్చిపోతాము అంటే అది అవ్వదు. అవర్ మైండ్ డజంట్ allow us to make a habit. Formation of habit is very tough. That too పైసల విషయంలో when it comes to money, saving money should become a habit. It's really beautiful. So kaizen is a word which can really help. And one very good example to add to sir's answer, Warren Buffett, he started investing at the age of 10 years of age. 10 years, and by the age of 30, when he became 30, he had enough money, millions of money, crores of money. So what does it mean? It means early you start the investment, early you are wealthy enough and good enough. But in our society we have a myth that children should not talk about money. Children ko money se dur rakhna hai. సో పిల్లల్ని దూరంగా పెడతాం డబ్బుల గురించి మాట్లాడేటప్పుడు. సో ఇది ఒక మిత్ అండి. సార్ చెప్పినట్టు డబ్బు ఆదా చేయడం అనేది ఒక అలవాటుగా మార్చాలి. వెరీ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్.
And if you allow me, if you have a paper, I'll tell you a simple thing. Habit is a very peculiar thing. How do you spell habit?
HABBIT.
HABIT.
BIT,
Got
yes.
it?
HABIT.
So now write that habit on your paper, and then strike off H. What remains there?
A bit.
A bit will remain there.
Yes.
Now imagine if you delete that A also. What
Yes.
is remaining there?
Bit is remaining still.
Bit is remaining. Yeah. If you try to remove the B also in that, what
It
is
is
remaining
remaining.
there?
Still it is remaining.
Yeah. So once you form an habit, it will remain with you forever.
Yeah. Yes.
So inculcating that habit and doing it, it will remain with you forever.
Nice, nice. So, as you said, making a habit of saving money is very tough. It's a psychological aspect. It's not a routine, normal, mechanical aspect. It's more with the mindset. So,
Yes.
once you do it, you are there for it. That is forever. Brilliant, brilliant. So, and very interesting question comes up, sir. Many of, when we announced the topic, and many people were posting one question to me: why people do impulsive buying, and why people are not able to stop overspending? What are the factors behind this? Because we go for shopping, we do the shopping, we don't even look for the budget, nothing we see, we spend money, come back and feel bad for it. But then why this impulsivity for buying?
See, the word impulse itself says that, you are doing something unmindfully. ఎప్పుడైతే మీరు ఇంపల్స్ అన్నారో, we are not mindful of it, what actions we are doing.
Yes.
You see a flashy ad on your Amazon or on your Instagram, and then immediately you have that impulse of buying it.
Yes.
Do you really require that?
We don't even think.
We don't question it. We never question it. अच्छा लग रहा है, मिंत्रा में ऑफ है, बड़ा ऑफ आ रहा है, let me buy it. अरे, this suit is so good, I'll buy it. But do you really require that? Are you planning to have that suit for some festival or some occasion? Plan it, be mindful, before you click your mouse.
Yeah.
That's the simple thing. And like my friend Rohan is there. He always buys so much of stuff. వాడి దగ్గర వాడి ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ గ్యాడ్జెట్స్ ఎన్ని ఉంటాయంటే I really wonder what he'll be doing with that. I always ask him, ఏంట్రా ఎందుకు కొంటావు అని? Why do you buy all these things? And in the last week, he becomes stressed because of overbuying and impulsive buying. And most of the things will be lying there idle like that. They are of no use for him.
Yeah.
ఆలోచన లేకుండా, you are not mindful of what you're clicking, your
Yeah.
money is flowing out.
Yes. Yes. So we need to spend few seconds of time before buying. Yeah.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
categorize things, whether they are needs, whether they are comfort, or whether they are luxuries. If it is a need, definitely you should go for it. If it is not, it's a luxury or comfort, then maybe we need to rethink whether to buy or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So generally, we have one more question for you. So one more aspect of this emotional aspect. Many a times in money management, we spend overspending karte hai, or we spend on unnecessary things, or we do not save for future. Many things happens in financial management, but end of it, we feel guilt and shame for it. Many people we see at the age of 50, 60, they say, Mera zindagi guzar gaya, nothing is left in my life. I could not save a single rupee. I could only, me and my, I am there. There is nothing left in my life. And they feel so guilt and so shame for the, that remaining people who are there for him. Why this is happening, and what is your idea about it?
Sometimes, we feel guilty after spending money.
Yes.
Especially, if we think that, we should be saving it.
Yeah.
Or maybe like, you feel ashamed that, మా ఫ్రెండ్స్ దగ్గర చాలా ఎక్కువ డబ్బులు ఉన్నాయి, నా దగ్గర లేవు. You start comparing.
Yeah.
These feelings are normal. These feelings are normal. And it is important to remember that everyone's financial situations are different.
Yeah.
Don't compare your financial situation with your neighbors or with your friends. మీ ఆర్థిక అవసరాలు మీకు ఎట్లా ఉంటాయో పక్క వాళ్ళకి అట్లా ఉండవు, వాళ్ళు వేరే ఉంటాయి.
Yes.
Never ever compare. The minute you start comparing, you feel that guilt and shame.
Yeah. And because of this guilt and shame, again, whatever time left, whatever actually they are doing, that will suffer again.
Suffer.
That will suffer. They cannot do anything in that moment also.
Yeah.
So because there is no U-turn in life, they cannot go back in life
Go
and
back.
earn again or save again. It's only left is future. Yeah. Feeling of guilt and shame doesn't help what you're trying to say.
Yes, ma'am.
So generally, some people have a question. Why I am like this? Mera friend is not like me. నా ఫ్రెండ్ నాలాగా లేడు, వాడికి భయం లేదు, వాడు ఎంతైనా ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేస్తాడు. उनको fear नहीं है, he is not, he is like risk taking behavior. But then why I am not? We are earning same money, we are in the same page, but then why this different? What is actually behind this? Where from these are coming? Where these individual differences are coming from, sir?
See, your upbringing makes a huge impact with your relationship with your money. మీ అప్బ్రింగింగ్ మీద మీ రిలేషన్షిప్ విత్ మనీ ఆధారపడి ఉంటుంది. Some families which have that habit of saving, then keeping for a future, the child brought up in that environment will always think of savings. The minute he starts getting money, he'll think of savings. And then he is very, very, very conservative. Even if he wants something, he'll think a number of times, should I invest on this? And there are some homes where they don't give any significance for savings. పైసలు వచ్చాయి, ఖర్చు పెట్టేశారు. So their children will be like, they don't focus on savings.
Okay.
Salary आया,
खर्च कर दिया.
हो गया. Wait for the next salary.
Wait for the next first to come.
Yeah.
But they enjoy their life in that, whatever salary, but they don't think
Yeah.
about the future
Think
needs.
about the future.
So
So it is basically the upbringing which makes a huge difference.
great, great. So beautifully said again. Many people think, what is wrong with me? Why I'm like this? It's not your mistake. It's not your mistake. It's about, the childhood which you have. And don't curse your parents for that again. Don't go and say that you are reason for, this. It's not like that. So it's all about the way we, take it. So one more beautiful saying which I came across is, why I'm like this today is, as said, one factor because of my childhood experiences, number one. But there is a number two factor, which is the way I am organizing this childhood experiences in my mind. That actually makes the entire difference in you. So these two adding together will make you, so better you don't curse your parents for what you are today, but the way you look at it, the way you organize those experiences in your mind makes all the difference. So that's why just focus on your financial goals, not on your experiences. When you look at your financial goals, you don't have this fear factor. You go front, you go forward, but this fear doesn't come. So the experiences doesn't stop you any time. Very, very interesting information coming up from a banker and a psychologist. Very nice to listen, sir. Maybe we have one or two questions for you, and then we'll take the questions from the audience.
Yes, ma'am.
So last but not the least question, some people are into debt. అప్పులలో ఉండిపోతారు. అప్పులలో పడతారు, తెలుసో తెలియకో అప్పు చేస్తారు. When they are into that debt, what happens? How to act? What is the psychology? How they should go forward? What is your opinion as a bank officer, as a psychologist?
As a psychologist, being in debt, it's like having a huge weight on your shoulders.
Yeah.
పెద్ద భారంగా ఉంటుంది. అప్పు అనేది ఏదైనా సరే మనకి భారంగానే ఉంటుంది. You call it a education loan or you call it as a housing loan. Bharam is bharam.
Yes.
And psychological aspect of it, it always worries an individual, irrespective of his source of income. ఆయన ఆర్థికంగా ఎంత బలముగా ఉన్నా సరే అప్పు అనేది ఎప్పుడు భారంగానే ఉంటుంది. ఇట్స్ ఆల్వేస్ హెవీ ఆన్ ఎ బారోవర్, లైక్ మేకింగ్ దోస్ మంత్లీ పేమెంట్స్. అండ్ యు ఆల్వేస్ మానసికంగా మీరు ఆలోచిస్తుంటే మీ ఆదాయానికి ఒక ఇల్లు పడింది. సో ఆ మనిషిలో చెప్పలేని భయము, ఆందోళన అప్పున్నంత వరకు ఉంటుంది. దట్ ఈస్ సైకలాజికల్.
Yes.
And as a banker, if you are taking an education loan or an housing loan, you are creating an asset. మీ పిల్లలు ఆర్థికంగా వాళ్ళు చదువులో బాగా వృద్ధికి రావాలనేసి మీరు ఆ లోన్ తీసుకోవడం జరుగుతుంది. సో మీ పిల్లల బాగు కోసము, కుటుంబానికి ఒక ఇల్లు కావాలని ఆ మంచి ఉద్దేశంతో మీరు లోన్ తీసుకుంటారు. ఎప్పుడైతే మీ ఆదాయానికి సరిపడ్డా మీరు లోన్ తీసుకుంటున్నారో, బ్యాంక్ మీకు లోన్ ఇచ్చిన అలాగే 60% లోన్ ఇస్తుంది. సో అందులో మీరు అడ్జస్ట్ అయ్యి మూవ్ అవుతుంటే మీ ఈఎంఐ కూడా ఈజీగా డిడక్ట్ అయ్యి పేమెంట్ అయిపోతుంటుంది. తెలియకుండా మీ ఈఎంఐ అడ్జస్ట్ అయిపోతుంది. అండ్ వన్ థింగ్ we always tell people is your interest rate is always fixed and your EMI is fixed. మీ ఈఎంఐ ఎప్పుడు మీకు ఒక 15-20 సంవత్సరాలు ఉంటుంది. ఈ రూపీ డివాల్యుయేషన్ వల్ల ఇప్పుడున్న 1000 రూపాయలు 6 సంవత్సరాల తర్వాత అంత భారంగా అనిపించదు. ఇట్ ఇస్ నాట్ ఎ బిగ్ అమౌంట్. 40,000 EMI which you are paying now, it may sound heavy for you, but as time passes,
Yeah.
the EMI is fixed. The rupee devaluation is less, so you don't feel the burden. It's always desirable that you do everything in EMIs, especially when you are acquiring an asset like house or sending your children abroad for
Yeah.
higher education.
Good cause, it's okay to take the
Yeah.
debt. It's nothing wrong. We should not have this psychological factors. Actually, we need to balance these things so that you don't have the that whatever emotional instability,
Yes, ma'am.
pressure lo undakunda undali, because it's for a good cause.
But the long, you have that long vision, always better. What happens after 20 years? You
Yes.
have an asset, the amount of installment that you pay is very small compared to the rise in your salaries.
Right, sir. So we thought of 30 minutes of interview, but it went to 45 minutes almost. But the information was so interesting, so we could not stop at a point, and we were flowing with you, sir. So now, when we look at the psychology of money, when we see the people on the spectrum, as after so many questions and answers, we see two things. Some people are feeling very insecure to spend their money or save the money or invest the money, and there are the other people who are this side, who are irresponsible or careless and impulsive buying. So it is like insecure people and irresponsible people. So we have range of people whom we see, but at a point, psychology of money is nothing but the behavior of spending money or saving money or investing money, and the way we have the relationship with money. Last thing but not least, before we take the questions from you people, always people think that money is bad. People think that money is bad. Money makes the people bad. Money actually break the relationship. So they look at the money as an evil, but money is not bad. Money is not bad. Money is needed. If you want education, if you want anything in life, you need money. If you are very good person, doesn't make any difference. If you're a good person, you need to pay your cell phone bill. You are a good person, but still you need to pay for a milk packet. They don't give you milk packet free. So money is required. Money is novel. But the way we spend it, the way we use it, the way we utilize it, that makes all the difference. So let us improve this knowledge of or psychology of money more and more. We'll have more discussions on psychology of money in coming sessions from different experts. And now, any closing remarks by Veera sir before we take the questions, sir? Do you want to give any closing remarks? Any one or two statements from you?
Money is an essential thing for everyone to survive. Generate money which fulfills your requirements. Don't chase money. live the moment, and live with your family fully. Spend your time in building your relationship.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you, madam.
spending your time with us. And we'll stay for 5 more minutes to take any question. I think we have good participants who are sitting and watching us. So any questions, 1 or 2 questions from the participants, we welcome. Yeah, just 1 or 2 questions.
Good evening, Geeta ma'am and Veera sir.
Good evening, sir. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Sir, this is Madhu. I just want to ask you one question. How to beat the inflation, sir?
Inflation is something that is not under your control. No, we always, in psychology, we say 2 things: control circle and influence circle. మీరు చేయగలిగిన పనులన్నీ కంట్రోల్లో ఉంటాయి, చేయలేని పనులు ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ సర్కిల్లో పడతాయి మీకు. You can save for the future and invest wisely. That will take you on a long way. Inflation is something that is not under your control. So getting worried about inflation doesn't resolve your issues. Invest wisely in whatever ways you can.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Good evening, Geeta ma'am. Good evening, Veera sir.
Good evening.
I'm Radhika Kalyani.
Good evening,
Yeah.
Radhika madam.
Sir, my question is, sir, purchasing gold is a good investment or a mutual fund will be good?
Investment in gold is good on a short-term basis. Investing in mutual funds is beneficial on a long-term basis.
Sir, mutual funds are they have market risks, no, sir?
Risk is everywhere. Risk is in the gold, and risk is there also in the mutual funds.
Sir, can I add
Okay.
an answer for Radhika along with sir? So Radhika ji, there is like, I am not an expert in that. I am a psychologist, pure psychologist. But still, I learned from someone that investing in one thing, all your, whatever money you have, do not invest in one place, is what I learned. Invest in different places. You buy a gold, you buy a place, you invest in stock market, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But do not focus on one thing. Invest in, 360 degrees so that it becomes balanced at a point. It's learning. I don't know. I'm not expert. Thank you.
Never-
Any other
Thank you.
questions?
Never
Thank you,
put
ma'am.
all never put all your eggs in the same basket.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
And we have questions in the chat box. I'll just open the chat box and read for sir. Good evening, Veera sir. Would like to know the mutual funds investment good or not? Again, one mutual funds. Sir, Mians, you need to give the answer.
Mutual funds are good to invest if you are doing it on a long term. They are not beneficial if you're doing for a short term. When we say short term, 3 to 5 years. You don't get returns in 3 to 5 years. You need to choose a investment banker who is doing it and then invest accordingly. You need to do a lot of study for that.
Yeah. So, any other questions? Anybody else want to ask a question?
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Just want to ask
evening.
one question. So you are saying the brought up of the family actually plays a role, what the child has observed in the growing years. No, and sometimes they do feel guilty about spending and no, think quite a bit. Yeah, as you said, right side of the menu, they keep watching it. So how do you change the mindset of these people? How do you educate them?
The simplest way is choose the way you want to live. Okay, we always say between birth and death, the life happens, and how you live your life is your choice. You want to live the moment, or you want to postpone your life later date.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
And we already added something. Whatever experiences we have in the childhood, that is one factor. But the second is the way you organize that information, process that information, process those experiences right now in your life makes the difference. So you change the perception of that. So a rich kid or a kid who is from the rich family may turn out different. A kid who born in a poor family may turn out different in the mindset because the processing happened differently. So
Yes.
please understand this.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So any
Welcome.
questions?
Good evening, sir. Actually, I would like to know recurring deposit is good or not. Just like piggy bank, I can save every month. It can the amount will be credited from my account. So it's better or not, sir? Recurring deposit.
Yeah, I didn't get your name, ma'am.
I'm Anuradha. Yes, sir.
Anuradha, good evening. Recurring deposit is always good investment. People who cannot do a bulk investment, for them, we always recommend to go for a recurring deposit. Like, you have to pay your child's tuition fees of 60,000 at the end of year.
Yes.
Okay. Next academic year, you need to pay 60,000. Start having an RD of 5,000 every month.
Okay.
You will be saving little amount, but then at the end of the year, it turns out to be huge.
Yes.
చిన్న చిన్న మొత్తాల్లో ఆదాయం చేస్తే మీకు మిగిలేదు చాలా ఉంటుంది.
Thank you, sir.
Desirable.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. So thank you so much for very insightful questions. Your questions, our answers can become, answers for some more people in future. So thank you so much for participating, and a very, very great thanks to Veera sir, who accepted in a very short notice and being the first person in this Sai interviews from a different background, but still our Manojagati family member. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank
And
you very
we'll
much.
come back with one more beautiful or insightful interview next week. Till then, bye. See you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Done.